Millionaire asked Black Maid to play piano for fun. What happened next left everyone speechless. Just the maid. What's the worst she could do? That's what they all thought. Until her hands touched the piano. Within seconds, the party turned silent. Eyes widened. Glasses froze mid-air. Because what they heard wasn't just music, it was soul, history, defiance. And when a guest recognized her name, everything flipped. This wasn't an entertainer for hire. This was a legend in disguise. This is the story of a woman the world dismissed until she made them listen. Welcome, story lovers. From where are you watching? Hit the like button and drop your city name in the comments so we can see how far our story travels. Every morning, at the Greystone estate, Ruth quietly moved through rooms too grand to feel like home. As the Black Maid in one of the wealthiest homes in Georgia, she learned to stay silent, invisible, even while polishing crystal chandeliers or dusting the untouched grand piano that dominated the sunroom. That piano, shiny and quiet, sat there like a museum piece. Ruth never touched it, even though her fingers ached to play. Nobody knew her past. They didn't ask. They only saw the uniform, not the woman behind it. Mr. Whitmore, the millionaire, host known for his smug charm and shallow parties, didn't even remember her name. But today, something was different. As he laughed with guests, his glass in hand, he called out, "Hey, Ruth, or whatever it is, why don't you play us something?" For fun, the room fell quiet. The air shifted. Ruth walked toward the piano without a word. She hadn't touched genuine ivory keys in over 20 years. Once, Ruth was a prodigy. She'd played on stages in cities that most of these guests only visited in magazines. But life happened. Her father died. Her scholarship vanished. And in a world that didn't see Black women as anything beyond their labor, she ended up scrubbing baseboards instead of reading sheet music. The room buzzed with cruel curiosity. Phones were discreetly angled in her direction. One woman whispered, "This'll be good," her voice dripping sarcasm. Ruth knew the game. They thought this was a joke, a moment to laugh at the help. But when her hands hovered above the keys, something long buried stirred. She played, not clumsy or hesitant, but bold and fluid. Each note struck with purpose. The melody, a haunting classical waltz, grew into something raw, something aching with memory. The laughter stopped. A hush took over. Even the chandelier seemed to hold its breath. Guests stared, some with mouths open, some with tears forming. Mr. Whitmore's smug smile vanished. Then, from the corner, a guest exclaimed, "Wait, I know this piece. I saw her years ago at Carnegie." Another chimed in, scrolling frantically through his phone. "Is her name Ruth Bell? She was on TV when I was a kid." Ruth didn't stop playing. Not yet. The music carried her beyond shame, beyond time. And in that moment, the maid disappeared and the master pianist returned. The final note echoed through the marble hall like thunder. For a moment, no one moved. Then, slow applause began from the very back. It built, rising into thunderous clapping, then cheers. But Mr. Whitmore wasn't clapping. His face was pale, exposed. Someone asked him, "You knew who she was?" He stammered, "Of course not, she's just..." And that's when Ruth stood, walked toward him with quiet dignity, and said, "No, I'm not just anything." She left the room as they stared, speechless, not because she had played, but because they finally saw her. Dear audience, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to give it a like. It helps. The next day, the video had gone viral. Maid turns millionaire's party into concert hall blared the headlines. But to Ruth, it wasn't about fame. It was about reclaiming her name, her story. A music school reached out, offering her a scholarship to teach and mentor. Her fingers finally belonged on the keys again, not behind a mop. And as for Mr. Whitmore, he never lived down the shame, because the world saw what he had in brilliance. Doesn't wear uniforms. Worth isn't measured in wealth. Ruth's story reminds us how many talents remain buried beneath prejudice and assumptions. How many voices go unheard because of skin color or job titles. So tell us, what would the world look like if we saw everyone fully? Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos. Take care.